kind of gives you that childlike wonder again. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and over here on this corner of the internet we talk about fiber arts and we talk about books. Today we are going to talk about New Year's resolutions though. I'm someone, I love sitting down at the beginning of every year and just going over, what my goals are, really trying to realign myself. I'm also someone who tries to do that often. I always love setting goals or working towards goals and everything like that. So today I'm just going to give some very bare bones easy ideas for resolutions. They're gonna include some lifestyle, reading, and fiber arts stuff. In terms of resolution ideas, I am not an expert in productivity or psychology or anything like that. This is very much just here's some things that I thought of that that people might be interested in. Very much take it, make it your own. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So let's get started. The first category I'm going to talk about is lifestyle. The first thing I have is to make start a skincare routine. I'm someone, my skin is really acne prone, so I've had a skincare routine for years and years and years. I kind of can't function without one. So I'm going to show you just the most basic skincare routine, and you can branch off or whatever. This is all drugstore products as well. So I use Panoxyl Acne Foaming Wash. It has 10% benzoyl peroxide in it. This helped clear up my face a lot. I was using some unscented, just very bare bones type stuff. And it just, obviously, because it wasn't acne specific, it wasn't working as well. But this helps a lot. Or if you don't need something this strong, I also recommend the Vanna Cream, a gentle facial cleanser, or any sort of CeraVe cleanser. They're really good. You can find these at Walmart, Target. I got this at Target. And then serum. You don't have to have serum, but I love using serums. So I really like ones by The Ordinary. They are inexpensive. This one I have here is the Niacinamide 10% and Zinc 1%. It's $6. You can find it at any Ulta or order on the Ulta website. They also are selling some Ordinary products in Sephora. I believe this is one that you can find there. And then moisturizer, CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. You can use this all over your body as well, not just your face, which is really nice. It's an unscented, just very bare bones basic lotion. You can find this Walmart, Target, Ulta, anywhere that really sells skincare products. I love my skincare routine. I love just being able to start my day off with a clean face and go to bed with a clean face. So starting a skincare routine is definitely very, very nice. Working out 2 times a week. I know that a lot of people, their New Year's resolution is oh, I'm gonna work out every day, I'm gonna lose weight. I said just 2 days a week because I feel it's a really good jumping off point that's feasible for most people. If you work Monday through Friday, you have Saturday, Sunday off, maybe you can do something. And when I say workout, when I work out, most of the time I just walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes and then I stretch for 15. It can be that easy. It can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. But 2 days a week to start out, and then, just do whatever works for your schedule. Cook 1 new meal a month. My roommate and I love collecting cookbooks, but Pinterest is also a free resource. There are tons and tons and tons of great recipes on there that I've made. I just made gumbo this past week from a Pinterest recipe, and that was pretty good. You have to pick out what you want to eat every night of your life. So 1 new meal a month, that's 12 new meals a year, and you might find a new favorite. Create a list of things to do in your city and do 1 a month. Moving to a new place where I feel like there's just like nothing going on in the like colder months, because living in Rapid City is very much people come here for the summer, hiking, fishing, hunting, boating, all that fun stuff, all the very fun like outside stuff. It can feel kind of boring in the wintertime. One resource I like to use to find events, Facebook events. Can find a lot that's always going on there, or to find new small businesses. A lot of small businesses have Instagram pages now, so what I'll do is I'll search up like Rapid City, the location tag, and then go underneath there and like look at stuff. So that's one way to like find things to do in your city, even if it feels like there's nothing to do. Take yourself on one solo date a month. I know that it can be really daunting for some people to go and do things alone. Having to travel by myself for work, I've gotten really good at that. Just like eating alone, going places alone, doing things alone. But like start small. It doesn't have to be like this big day where you just go shopping alone and do everything alone. It can be so easy as just like going to the library alone, or going and getting coffee and just like kind of doing some work from your computer at the coffee shop, even with just your headphones in. I know that a lot of people find eating alone at a restaurant to be super daunting, so like you just gotta like work up to it. I would say like eating alone at a restaurant is probably one of my favorite things to do. I just like go there, I bring my book or my headphones, and I just zone out and I can eat the food that I want. But it's a skill. You have to hone it, and it takes time. It's not easy, especially if you have any sort of like social anxiety or just anxiety in general. Yeah. Save $50 to $100 of every paycheck. I know this isn't feasible for everyone, so like even if it's, I guess like as someone who didn't have a lot of money in college, I definitely could have put like, an extra $20 or $30 or $50 into my savings account, but I never did. And so like when I graduated college, I had virtually no savings, which like my life turned out fine, but you know, just having that little bit of a buffer would have been nice. Thankfully, I have a great family support system, but I know not everyone has that. So, I mean, $20 we just kind of like throw at something at Target that we don't need. So if it's not, at least like for me, if it's not in my checking, I don't even think about it really. So just like a little thought for the brain. And then reevaluate your goals monthly. That kind of like I said at the beginning, I love just like sitting down, thinking about my goals, what I want to like do. Working a 9-to-5 job can be like really stifling sometimes. I love my job, do not get me wrong, but you know, when you have other goals, I was a student for 20 years. I went to high school and then I went to college right away. And so when I got out, I was like, okay, I have the job, you know, I completed the goal. What is the rest of my life now? So at least for me, like being able to set goals and achieve them is kind of what helps keep me going. And, you know, doing this and my crochet hobbies and reading and all that stuff, like it helps keep my life interesting and fun. So like reevaluating your goals monthly, I think really helps make sure that you're like on track, or like, you know, if you start working out twice a week and you're like, oh, I think I can do more and let me do 3 days a week, or, you know, let me make 2 new meals a month, that sort of stuff. It helps you keep striving. We're smashing goals in 2024. Okay, so that was all I had for lifestyle. Next, we're going to go into reading goals. So the first thing I have is read a nonfiction book. Oh my goodness. So I pulled a few books off of my shelf that are nonfiction that I do want to read. I don't think, like, a nonfiction book can be as easy as a memoir. Because, like, some people really like memoirs. I don't think myself I'm super into them. I like celebrity memoirs a lot, like, especially by comedians. Like, I read, Tina Fey's and Ali Wong's, and, like, I think those are hilarious. but I like nonfiction books more of like what I'm going to show you here. So the first one I have is The Beauty Myth, How Images of Beauty Are Used Against Women by Naomi Wolf. I had a friend recommend this book to me, and she's like, it made me think about people in such different ways. So I want to do that one. Dreamland by Sam Quiones, The True Tale of America's Opioid Epidemic. My best friend is a pharmacist, and so when I first saw this book, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to read that, and then her and I can like talk about it, because like I know almost nothing about all of like this sort of stuff. So that's something that I think would be interesting to read about. And then this next one is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. I've read part of this book, and it is super, super good. Gosh, I'm on page, yeah, I've read over 100 pages of it, but it has like all these really fun like illustrations. So like it starts with like part 1, the cognitive revolution, and it talks about how, you know, there were other Homo species before Homo sapiens, which is what we are, and basically how Homo sapiens came to kind of rule the world, and just like little things like that. So it also goes into like the agricultural revolution, how we stopped like being more of a nomadic species. What I've read is so interesting. I want to finish this book, obviously, but it is super dense. Like if I were to hand you this book, you'd be like, oh my gosh, why is it so heavy? But it's also, it doesn't read like a textbook either. That's the one thing I think I really like about this book. Because sometimes people are like, oh, nonfiction is going to read like a textbook. Like this is very nicely, easily digestible. So those are just some recommendations for nonfiction books. Next is read a book a month. Unless, of course, you're going to read like a huge book. Like I have City of Heavenly Fire right here. This is a huge book. I don't think I could read this in a month. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. But like 200-300 page book, like you just read 20 pages a night. You could read that in a month. Next is utilizing the library before buying new books. I love using my Libby app. That is, like, I would check out what your local library has for a digital library catalog. Because, like, I personally will not pay for audiobooks. Because I can get them for free on Libby. Or, you know, you can read books from your phone using Libby. Or if you have a Kindle, you can send them to your Kindle. I know that some books have like really long wait times. I'm not saying never like buy a book again, but just like from a money saving aspect, or just like, you know, the consumerist aspect, like I think utilizing your local library is so important. I love utilizing my local library. So yeah, and a lot of times, especially if you live in a bigger area, a lot of them like keep up to date on, what is it, like new releases, and they like get, like, what was it? I had the Sioux Falls one, and when Fourth Wing came out, they had like 30 digital copies of the book. I was able to like get one right away so that I could listen to the book. Next I have is read a young adult series that you've always wanted to read. So like if you in middle school saw everyone reading Percy Jackson and you didn't read it as an adult. Like, it's okay. I don't know, I love reading YA books. I find them to be so fun and entertaining. I mean, I'm reading The Mortal Instruments right now by Cassandra Clare. That's a really big YA series. Anything by Rick Riordan, I know I said Percy Jackson earlier, anything by him is really good. I also read the Trials of Apollo series. That was so funny. The way that Rick Riordan just like got into the like self-absorbed head of what he like perceives Apollo as, I thought was so good. I listened to it all on audiobook from my local library. I also love the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. This is like a young adult paranormal romance. I thought it was going to be like a Twilight ripoff when I first, because like based on the cover it kind of looks like it would be. But when I tell you this is like a fantasy epic that is just like so different than what, like the first book kind of Twilight-esque, but once you start getting into it, it's like, oh my goodness, this world is huge and it's so interesting and the characters are so fun. So like I think that there is a lot of Or even just like the Hunger Games. If you didn't read them in middle school, read them now. I feel like they are just as culturally relevant today as they were back then, which is probably why the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, you know? I think YA books are so fun, and they have so much to say, and I feel like as an adult sometimes we think like, oh, you know, it's too baby, blah 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 blah, I don't need that. But sometimes reading a YA book can really help someone, at least I know for myself. It's like a palate cleanser almost. You're like, oh my gosh, it's going so fast and it's so fun, and you know, it just kind of gives you that childlike wonder again. Wow, I did not know I was gonna get so passionate about that. But the last thing I have for like the reading goals category is setting aside specific times to read. Reading is absolutely a choice, and when we live in this digital age, it can be very difficult to make time to read. So like I love when I can have a slow morning. I love to sit with my coffee and read my book, or at night I will read before bed. Like I'll make a cup of chamomile vanilla tea. So good. Make a cup of tea, just like wind down. It is a habit. It's different, and it's not like your norm. It's like, oh, I'm gonna pick up my phone and I'm gonna watch TikToks for 30 minutes. And sometimes it can take about 10 minutes before your brain is like in the flow state of being able to read. And it can be difficult for those 10 minutes. So, yeah, you just have to be like super intentional with, like, if you want to read, you have to make yourself read at least until it starts to become a habit, and then you're like, oh, you know, like, let me just pick up my book whenever and whenever, like, whatever, you know? And then the third category I have for like resolutions, because I tried to do, you know, we got lifestyle, just like some bare bones type stuff, and then I love talking about reading and fiber arts on this channel. So last thing is fiber arts. So the first thing I have is try using a drop spindle. I got this earlier this year. I've only used it a couple times. It is very difficult, but drop spindles are relatively inexpensive, and getting fiber either online or at your local yarn store also isn't super expensive. I definitely want to make a video of me like revisiting trying to drop spindle and then like going through the whole process. It was fun. It's different. So challenge yourself. Try drop spindle or spinning. I would love to do spinning, but a spinning wheel is like almost $1,000, and I live in an apartment. Where am I gonna put a spinning wheel? But yeah, so try drop spindling. The next one is try like your opposite, I guess. So like I primarily crochet. I also knit. So like if you mainly crochet, try knitting. If you mainly knit, try crocheting. It can be really difficult. It's definitely like a mind switch. When I first learned how to do anything in the fiber arts, I actually learned how to knit first. And then my grandmother was like, no granddaughter of mine is gonna be doing that knitting stuff. And so she taught me how to crochet, and crocheting really clicked with my mind very quickly. And so like I just ran with that for 5 years. I only crocheted. And once I started going to my local yarn store when I lived in Sioux Falls, I went to Thursday night like knitting circle, but like people would crochet too. But when I started going to that, everyone was knitting, and I was like, maybe I want to like try again. And now I love knitting, not as much as crochet, but like I love like mixing my crafts. It's really fun. So like try your opposite. The next one is cap your skein spending. I don't know anyone's finances. I'm not gonna try and, but see this? This is a little bit of a yarn wall right here. I've got a lot of yarn. I don't need to be spending $1 million on yarn a month. And since I moved to Rapid City, I have been like taking a step back from my like Uber spending. And it's been really nice. I've actually been able to like save some money for the first time in a while. So like give yourself like a cap. Like I'm only gonna buy 10 skeins of yarn a month, or I'm only gonna spend $50 on yarn, and when I have like a good coupon or it's on good sale or whatever. Like, it just, I'm not going to tell you how much yarn you need to have. I would never tell someone that they have too much yarn. I'm talking purely from a financial standpoint. Sometimes it can be nice to just like take a month off of spending if you just like stop looking at the deals and stocking your apps every single day. So, last thing I have is to use your special skein of yarn. I can't remember who I heard this from. Another like fiber podcaster talked about how like everyone has their special skein, and so you got to use your special skeins because you bought them because they're pretty and you want to use them. So use your special skein that you're afraid of using. Look on Pinterest or Ravelry or, you know, any pattern site. I'm going to show you my special skeins that I have no idea what to do with, but they're so beautiful. I thought I was going to make a shawl with these, but I feel like it's just like not... I found a different color that I think I'd rather make the shawl out of. These are 2 fingering weight skeins from Elaine Yarns. It's a like fire opal set, and gosh, it's just so pretty and they're sparkly, but I don't want to make socks out of them. So like I need to figure out, these are my special skeins, I'm gonna figure out something to do with them. Wow, this video was so fun to make. I can't remember the last time I just was like rambling like that. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, comment down below what one of your New Year's resolutions is going to be, if this helped. Give it a big like, and please subscribe to the channel. I have big plans for 2024. I am getting into like a good routine of filming, and I'm having so much fun doing it, so I really hope you'll come along with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!